All right, so today's topic is screw willpower, or F willpower, create control. So the most popular thing I've heard over the last week, week and a half, has been I stocked up on all this food. I've got a lot of junk food. I've got a lot of good food. And I can't control myself. I'm eating everything, right? We see the memes out there, one day into our quarantine and we've gained 40 pounds. I understand that that's a pretty common sentiment, and I get where it's coming from. So that's why today I'm bringing you what we can do instead. So the act of creating control over the act of trying to use willpower. So first statement I could say, and this is the most clear-cut way I can say it, is let's make willpower a myth, right? Willpower isn't a thing. Okay, so if you rely on willpower, you're relying on something else. You're relying on your ability to do something. Instead, remove willpower from your memory entirely. And then if you're not trying to rely on something, this mystical willpower, instead, what can you do? You have to create your own control. And that's kind of what this is going to be all about here, is creating your own control. Okay, we're going to do that through a couple things. We have some habits and rituals you can do, or habits and routines, but also just some simple actions and a mindset going forward. Okay, so if you guys have any questions during this, I have my laptop up. You can ask questions, you can jump in with stuff. I'll kind of answer as we go. So the first thing, the most important thing that you can do in terms of habits and routines is to build a daily routine. And not necessarily just your work routine, your life routine, but also your eating, right? So a lot of us are working from home for the first time ever. Obviously as a coach, I've never worked from home, besides, writing blogs and things like that. So this is weird for me. So coming from experience, I had to build a routine over the last couple days. I had to figure out what that's going to look like, right? So I woke up a little bit earlier than normal so that I could I like to read in the morning. I read my book, I did my meditation, got my shower, got cleaned up, and then I was able to start my day around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Now, the other 2 days before this, I was just flying by the seat of my pants. I didn't know what I was doing. So breakfast was at like 11:45. Lunch was like, oh crap, I'm hungry at 4:15. Dinner was just like, I just ate lunch at 4:15. My nutrition has been terrible. Okay, so build a daily routine, and in that, build a daily eating routine. So eat your breakfast at a normal time. Say, hey, at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, that's my breakfast time. I'm going to eat. Or I'm going to take my breakfast to my desk, and I'm going to eat my breakfast actually at my desk at 9 o'clock when I start working. Okay, same thing with lunch. Give yourself an hour, 30 minutes away from your desk to just decompress, have your lunch, and take your time. And then for dinner, you should be making probably almost all of your dinners because you have the time right now. Whereas before, you might not have had the time. We're always clamoring for more and more and more time. Now you have it. Take advantage of that time. Don't just sit at home and say, oh, screw it, I'm just going to heat up some stuff in the microwave. No, take advantage of that time. Make a good dinner every night if you can. Okay, so first habit or ritual you can do is develop a daily eating routine. The second one, continue meal prepping. This one is huge, right? You might think because you're at home, like, I don't really need to meal prep. I can just make my lunch. I can make my breakfast and my dinner. Dinners I would recommend, like I said, continue to make. But for your lunches, imagine two scenarios, okay? So scenario A, it's noon. You say, okay, it's lunchtime. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to make some lunch. You look in your cupboard, you look in your fridge, you find rice and whatever else you find in there. Peanut butter. I don't know what you guys have. You say, I can make something with this. Okay, that's scenario A. Scenario B, you go downstairs, you grab your pre-packed lunch that you made on Sunday, you throw it in the microwave, you have, hopefully in there, some protein, some plants, and some smart carbs, right? Okay, now obviously, scenario 2 is the better scenario. But make sure you're continuing to meal prep so that when you go downstairs, you're not looking around and you're not finding all the stuff that you had for your kids, right? You're not finding the junk food. You're not finding the Cheez-Its. Instead, you're finding a prepped meal that's good to go. So you at least can just go down, pop it in the microwave or pop it in the oven, and then have a good, solid meal. It's ready to go. You don't have to worry about it, okay? So continue meal prepping. If it helps you to meal prep breakfast too, meal prep breakfast. That's cool. But like I said, I'll continue doing dinners. And then the last habit or routine for right now is to consistently stock up on fresh and or frozen meat and produce, right? Because right now those are the hardest things to find. I've gone to the grocery store 3 times this week. Only one time did I find chicken breast and ground beef as well as some produce, and there was a ton of it this time. Awesome. So grab whatever you can. Find the produce produce and the meat, so that you always have it stocked up, so that you're always going to have like the canned tuna and the rice and the bread, stuff like that. Grab the fresh stuff whenever you can. And that's your other routine or habit that you continue to focus on. Okay, so those are some habits and routines, but more importantly, there's a couple actions that you can take right now. And I think the number one thing you can do is to take your junk food and put it somewhere else. Okay, so if you've got Cheez-Its and cookies and chips and candy, like I know a lot of us stocked up on, including myself, put it in the basement. Put it in a locked cabinet. Or at least in a shut cabinet. Put it up in someone else's room. Keep it away from you, so that every time you go to the kitchen, you don't think, well, I'm just going to grab a couple Cheez-Its and some chips, and then I'll make my way back upstairs. No, whenever you go down to the kitchen, you shouldn't have to make a choice to say, I want to have good food over shit, right? It should be, I'm going to have good food because that's what's in my kitchen. You should have to make a choice to have the less than desirable foods. So it should be, I want to have some chips because it's Friday night, I just worked all week from home and I'm a little bit stressed. Okay, then that means you have to go downstairs. You have to make the choice to go down there and get those foods. Okay, it's not something that's just there. Okay, so it's about choices. You should have to make the choice to go down there and get it, rather than just having it right in front of your face every time you go to the kitchen. You guys like the posters? Nice. And then the last action, or it's actually more of a mindset thing, is to think cumulatively. And honestly, I didn't realize I did this. I've been doing this for years, and I didn't realize it until I wrote out my lesson plan for today. Thinking cumulatively simply means compounding healthy choices and healthy actions on top of each other, and trying to build the best cumulative ball of health or storm of health that you can make. Okay, so let me give you a couple examples here. You wake up, it's 6 a.m., you get the bodyweight workout that we're posting. You get the bodyweight workout, you're like, damn, I feel good. Okay, now, from here, you're at a crossroads. You can make a shitty breakfast, you can have a good breakfast. Okay, so then you decide, I made one healthy action, I'm going to make another healthy action. I'm going to go make my eggs with some spinach and some peppers and onions in it. Awesome, that's another healthy action. I got 2. Okay, keep building that storm of health. Okay, for lunch, I'm going to have my prepped meal that I already made on Sunday. Boom, another healthy action. And then for snack, I'm going to have some carrots and hummus. Another healthy action. Keep building and building and building and building, so that you're not constantly tearing down. You're not subtracting from your health as you go throughout the day. You're adding to your health as you go throughout the day. And if you can cumulatively build this storm of health, you're going to continue to make yourself a better person over time, nutritionally speaking. So build that storm of health, think cumulatively, keep junk food away from you, develop a daily eating routine, continue meal prepping, and constantly stock up on the good stuff whenever you can. Okay? If you guys have any questions about this stuff, please let me know. I'm going to monitor this as we go along throughout the day. I'll jump in and answer any questions you guys might have. If there's anything you want to learn about over the next couple of weeks, let me know. I'm building some stuff out. I will get you guys whatever you want to know. Okay? Awesome. Have a good rest of your day.